Hello and welcome to the Armoury Review Show. I'm Alex Marsh. I'm joined by my graphics team, who isn't actually here. They're busy shedding their load at the moment, or load shedding rather. Just me. I've got a couple of guests though. First off, we've got Charl. How's it, Charl?
Hey mate, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks, mate. We've also got Dobby. How's it, Dobby?
Hello everyone. Fine, thanks.
Good. Initial thoughts? How you feeling, guys?
Trying to be positive. I think that's the key aspect. Despite everything, the positive is that it's still in our hands. We still have to go to the Etihad, be it a daunting experience, but still in our hands, still in Manchester City's hands, all to play for. If you're neutral, it's a great title race. Not a good time to be an Arsenal fan, even though we're on top of the log. But I mean, it's what we've wanted to be involved in for the past couple of years, for the last 2 decades. So let's just be happy to be here and let's just support the team.
Yeah. We're punching above our weight anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
I thought, who thought we were going to be, at the top of the league at this point of the season, at the start of the season? No one did, really. I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, we would have bitten your hand off it. We thought we'd be challenging for the Champions League places.
Top
Yesterday,
4.
we could have secured it. So, I mean, pick your
Yeah,
battle.
no, I agree with that. I mean, we have to keep the faith. You can't give up now. I mean, we expect the team to carry on going, so us as fans must do the same, basically. I mean, and even if we end up second best, it's still better than what we all were expecting before the start of the season. So yeah, it's still happy days. I mean, disappointing last couple of results, but in the bigger picture, we are doing well. So
Yeah.
can't complain too much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Keep it positive, that's what I say.
Definitely.
Right, so on the show tonight, we've got an anagram coming up, and then we'll go through the weekend results. Bubble bursts against West Ham. We'll dissect that game. Then we've got a little bit of a quiz. The road to the title, where we'll look at the upcoming fixtures that us and that team in Manchester have got. And then, keep your questions coming in, audience. And there'll be a winner of the question of the show where you get a prize, and you can pick that up from Warren. Cool. So, first things first, first things first actually is talk about Ronnie's podcast, which the link to this is on the Facebook site. Check it out for all things Arsenal. It is a pretty good podcast, so yeah, check that out. Right, anagram time. T-Cloth 2. It is
the easiest one.
It's pretty flipping easy, this one. I'm embarrassed to put such an easy anagram on here. Hope you're hearing this, graphics team. Right, go on. You know what it is, right, Charl?
I do. Do I spoil it now? Or?
Well, no. We'll save it. Okay. Any ideas, Dobby?
Not really, to be honest. No.
Right. Okay. Warren gets it. It didn't take very long on that one.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Weekend results. Let's have a look at some of these. So, Villa with a pretty comfortable win against Newcastle. That was quite surprising for me because Newcastle have been was it 5 wins in 5 for them. So Emery, is the Europa League on for Emery? What do you think, Charl?
He's well on track for at least the Europa League. I mean, I don't know if you read this, but since coming back from the World Cup, Aston Villa are the second most informed team in the Premier League. Ollie Watkins has scored as many goals post-World Cup as Erling Haaland has. I mean, They are a team at bang on form.
Very impressive.
I'm sure, like, you can't be surprised. Looking back at that result at Villa Park now, it looks like an absolute steal now.
Yep, no, I agree.
I wouldn't like to be facing them at this point in the season. I don't think City face them.
No,
do they?
They don't. They don't.
Damn it! How do you feel about that, Dobby? How do you feel about Emery doing so well at Aston Villa? Are you happy for him, or do you?
And I'm not surprised at all, actually, because he's actually a great manager, proven by his Europa League records, and also even when he was with us, his first season, we just missed out on winning the Europa League, and I think we had a run of like 10 or 12 games in a row, wins in a row, which was some kind of a record at the time, So I'm not surprised at all. He's a great manager, and I'm very happy for him because the way it ended up at Arsenal was a bit of a sour note, which he didn't deserve really. So I'm very happy for him. And I don't mind Aston Villa either. So out of all the teams fighting for those Champions League or Europa League places, I'll be happy if they get it.
We've also got Devon joining us. How's it, Devon?
I'm all good. Hi, Dobby. Hi, Charl. Alex. Welcome. Sorry, apologies for the lateness. I know they say lateness is greatness, but not when it comes to ESCOM. So thank you for having me on, guys.
At least they switched you on. Better late than never.
Say no more. Thank you for having me on, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
Do you think, while we're on the subject of Emery, Devon, do you think there's an outside chance that Villa could get top 4?
What a question. They are on a good run of form, like Dobby alluded. Like, I don't mind Emery. I will be honest with you, they actually went under my radar. I didn't realize how well they were doing until last week. I saw how high they are up the table. The only thing is, United are, I think, 5 points clear of 5th, and I'm not too sure how far United are. There we go. Thank you. Thank you.
I think United are quite far ahead, and with a game in hand. But yeah, there's still a few games left to play.
True, but let's be fair, even for them to even get a Europa League position with Emery that came in at the time, like Dobby alluded to, it's not a bad season at all for them, to be honest.
No, it's not.
And they could, the Newcastle is slightly within reach. If you look at their games as well, they have to play us. So we we hope that we're going to beat them. So there's 3 points drop for them there. So let's hope,
Hopefully.
Brighton also possibly with a shout of Europa League as well.
True.
Oh yes.
If they win the games in hand, I think they go above Spurs, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yep.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I'm not too far. I don't know how far you guys got into the show, but this weekend's results it was madness, honestly.
Yeah.
The Chelsea losing, Brighton winning, Newcastle losing, that one threw me off. Spurs losing to Bournemouth. I mean, we were told, we struggled against Bournemouth, but hey, beating Bournemouth isn't for everybody. But yeah, sorry to hijack the show, Alex. Sorry to hijack the show, my man.
No, it's good. We haven't finished with the results yet. So Spurs bottling it at the Armitage Shanks Arena down the road. Do you think that they'll fail to qualify for Champions League, Dobby?
It's possible. I mean, what was their points? They're fifth at the moment behind Newcastle.
Yeah.
And Aston Villa and Brighton are in better form than them, so that both of them could overtake them. Or Brighton if they win their games in hand, and Aston Villa if they carry on. So they could easily even not get top 6.
I'm amazed to see Tottenham still up there, to be honest, because every time I've seen them, they've been absolutely dreadful. Terrible team to watch. Terrible football.
Yeah,
it's been they're really dull to watch. And I mean, their key player from last season or past several seasons has been Son, and Son hasn't been playing at all well.
Yep, and they got Richarlison with 0 goals and I don't know, 0 assists or something like that.
He's got more celebrations than goals.
Yeah, he's got two yellow cards for goals celebrations that they got choked off as well. So it's a Spursy thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
True.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer player too.
Yeah, true as well.
Other results. Fulham finally getting a win against Everton. Charl, do you reckon Everton can drop?
Jeez, I can see them going down. I really can see Everton going down. And normally you look at a team going down and you think, what players would you want from that club? There's not a single player that are from that team. It just shows you how horrible a team Everton are now. It's absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
They are going down.
It's an odd one for me that they brought in a kind of an anti-football man like Sean Dyche, really, because he's not really renowned for his attractive football. And yet, a few seasons ago, they brought in Sam Allardyce. Okay, they escaped relegation, but then they sacked him because he didn't play the style of football that they wanted to play. And then they brought in someone with exactly the same sort of style of football as Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually going to say that Dyche is basically the new world Sam Allardyce, that guy that comes in and tries to save the club from relegation. A la Roy Hodgson now as well, but honestly,
I think. Do you not think with Roy Hodgson, right? Palace would have been winning these games with Vieira. Do you think that?
100%. I mean, we spoke about it the last time I was on the show. You went through all of the difficult fixtures, playing, I think, the top 8, and the next couple of games are all against bottom half teams that Palace should have been beating. All of a sudden, we're going on like Roy Hodgson is the new messiah.
I think that with the Vieira thing, I think he had like 5 games where he didn't score a goal, 5 games in a row, and he had very few points in the last 10 to 12 games. So just their form was really bad. So that is why they probably decided to change. But yeah, I agree. They probably got through the hardest part of the season and then they sacked him. So but unlucky.
Wolves getting a win against Brentford. That's an important win for them. City showing Arsenal, unfortunately, how it's done by putting Leicester to the sword in the first half. They were 3-0 up before.
Wow, you're just the bearer of good news tonight, eh? Wow.
I know. I try and be optimistic.
Well, they scored their penalty. That's the difference. If you had scored our penalty, you also would have won 3-1.
Absolutely. I think that would have been a turning point. We'll talk about that in a second. Frank Lampard, Chelsea, that is 3 losses in 3 games now. Are Chelsea an outside bet for relegation?
Oh, wouldn't you love to see it? I think if they didn't have the points in the bag already, then they would have been, because if you look at their run of fixtures, I think they're playing Man City, they're playing us. I'm not sure, Liverpool maybe, and Newcastle, and they've got like Brentford and Brighton. So I don't even see them picking up any points, but they need like a couple of draws and they'll be safe. Just because the teams below them have so few points.
The irony is,
what would you prefer to see? Spurs failing to qualify for any European competition, or Chelsea getting relegated?
Relegated, definitely, because that just goes down.
Relegated, I'll agree with that. Go down, Go down,
Do you know what the irony of everything is? The irony is that Thomas Tuchel probably got all of Chelsea's points to avoid relegation. Since he's gone, you've got Potter coming in, done absolutely nothing. Lampard coming in, doing nothing.
Even worse,
It is honestly shocking.
It's not been good for them, which is great for us, or for anyone that hates Chelsea, like everyone that's not a Chelsea fan. United, I thought with the amount of injuries that Man United have got, I thought they might come a cropper against Forest, but they absolutely battered Forest in there. I think it could have been about 6 or 7, which is unfortunate. I was looking forward to a United loss, but Yeah, but they've got the Europa League coming up, haven't they? The return fixture against Sevilla. So I wonder how they're going to do it in that. Can anyone see them going out with because they've got quite a few injuries, haven't they?
Yep, I can see it.
They can go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can also see it
Sevilla
as
is
well.
the Europa League specialist, so
Yeah.
Agreed.
But is it Sevilla that are the Europa League specialists, or was it Emery?
well, we're about to see.
Brilliant answer.
If Villa get Europa League, are you going to place a bet that Emery?
Oh yeah, my mortgage is going.
Cool. So I think we've looked at the top of the table a little bit. Man City are right behind us, or potentially right behind us if they win their game in hand, with 1 point in it, 4 points at the moment. Who knows? They might not win the game in hand.
What is the game in Brighton away, isn't it?
Yep.
So
yeah, which could be a
it's not
potential
It's
banana
not a
skin.
given.
Bobby, isn't that West Ham? Isn't that West Ham at home?
I don't
stand
know
under
because they
correction.
have the one game that says to be announced. They don't have a date
I
for
think
the
the West
Brighton
Ham
one. I think.
the West Ham one got announced now when it's happening, but not
Is
not the Brighton one yet.
Okay,
that's
so
a
maybe
sticky
it's
one
West
for
Ham.
them.
I don't know.
Yeah, Brighton.
We wanted to be.
Could be.
We had hoped it would come before our match, perhaps.
Yeah, now they're playing Sheffield, but look, they're still playing Sheffield United in an FA Cup semi. There's no way you are resting your players against them. I don't care if they are a championship team. They aren't resting their players against Sheffield United.
True.
What did you guys make of the rearrangement of our Chelsea fixture?
Hey.
Oh, terrible! I mean, shocking. Honestly,
what did you make of it, Devon? Were you happy about that rearrangement? Because it gives us a few extra days to prepare for it, doesn't it? But at the same time, I've got to take half a day off work to go get to that game now.
That's what I wanted to ask. I was going to ask you the question, Alex. How do you feel about that? Because
I'm actually really, really annoyed, and at the same time, not so annoyed because obviously you want to win that game and you want to give yourselves a bit of a break after Man City, but equally, my son Ray, he was dying to go to that game, and but now because it's a school night and you won't get back until about 2 a.m. He can't go, and I'm taking half a day off work to get to that game now because it's on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's very bad for the fans.
You see now look at now just that. Look how that's impacting you on that side. Yeah. On our side again, we had a bus trip planned. I was looking forward to going to the bus trip for the Arsenal Supporters Club to come back and enjoy the vibe, Chelsea and everything. Now it's moved to midweek, and not only that, now it's scheduled in such a way. I don't know if you can pull up. Here's it actually. We have Southampton on Friday. Okay, calm. We have City, then we have Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton, Forest away. That's a whole lot of sticky games. That's my thing. With it also, to answer your question, I was definitely not happy. I didn't understand it. I couldn't understand it when my friend sent me the message to say that your game is rearranged. I'm like, why? But obviously, there are some things going on that side where you are, Alex. So I definitely wasn't too pleased.
Yeah, it wasn't anything to do with the club, and for once, it wasn't anything to do with the TV companies either. It's the Metropolitan Police, the Met, who decided that they weren't going to police it on the day, or it would be too difficult to police. Apparently, on the day that it was scheduled for originally, so they said, "Move it to the Tuesday, and we'll police it." Obviously, you've got to have police at the games. That's the reason for it. Unfortunately, it was all down to the Met Police. So
annoying. Is there a massive uproar about it there on that side there where you are? Is there a massive uproar around the club about it?
Yeah. From the people that are going to the game or that had plans to go to the game, because it's gone from a weekend Saturday fixture to late Saturday afternoon to a Tuesday evening. And now people have got to take days off work or whatever. Foreign people that are going to fly in to watch the game, I mean, it completely screws them up. You know what I mean? People that have booked hotels, people that can't get refunds now for the hotels because they've missed the refund period and all that sort of stuff. I mean, a guy that I sort of sell tickets onto, you know, for face value when I can't go to games. I mean, he spent like £300 just on a hotel in London, and he can't get that back now.
Jeez, that's hectic.
Yeah. I mean, at least with the TV schedule, they release it like 2 months in advance, so you've got time to plan that. And you know, if there's things like your Europa League fixture or something like that, then there's always that element of doubt as to whether it's going to be rescheduled. But for this Chelsea game, there was no indication for anybody that it was ever going to be rescheduled because it didn't conflict with anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of frustration from a lot of people, and you know, people trying to just get rid of their tickets, and some people trying to recuperate money that they've lost on hotels and things like that by selling the tickets at higher than face value. It's got to a lot of people, I think.
Was that the only game that was rearranged in the Premier League? Because
for the policing thing, I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they completely saw the other games except for this one.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, it is a fact now. So.
Yep, it is what it is. Right, let's get on to talking about the match. Let's have a look at that team sheet to start with.
Okay, let me just get it. Sorry, apologies for this. I'll get it up now. I just don't want to make the same mistake I made last week and give away the answers to the. There we go.
Right. Holding. Are we
Quentin in the chat is gonna love this.
Are we missing Saliba? I'll let you answer that one, Dobby.
Sorry, holding for Saliba.
Are we missing Saliba? Was he a big? Is him not being there having a big impact on our performances?
Well, I mean, you would say so based on the results that we've been having. But having said that, I don't think that Holding has done too much wrong since deputizing in for him. So we definitely miss him, but his quality on the ball and things like that as well. And maybe stronger, like in terms of dealing like with individual battles. I think Holding struggles with that in general. But I wouldn't blame the results on Holding, though, to be honest.
No.
He hasn't really done much wrong.
Do you think Gabriel performs better as a with Saliba as a partner than he does with Rob Holding?
Yeah, possibly, because then he's the one that goes and wins the ball high up the pitch, and Saliba can hold back. So they've got that understanding. I'm not sure that is quite happening with him and Holding. So as a partnership, yes, definitely it's weaker.
Yeah. Devin, do you think was it a surprise to see Tierney on the team sheet?
Look, Zini, from what Zini picked up an injury, so obviously he's the natural one to come in. But he looked a bit rusty, to be honest, which is fair. He didn't. And he's not used to playing in the whole inverted kind of role. But naturally, I wasn't too fazed by Tierney coming in. I expected it. I personally wanted Tierney to play last week at Anfield. But look, Anfield has gone. It's done. But I wasn't too surprised by. I mean, it's a natural replacement, Alex, for Zini when Zini is out. So, but. Don't get me wrong, Tierney. I love Kieran Tierney. But he can't play the inverted role. And I think that also took a bit. You can take the Saliba factor into account, but when Zini isn't there as well, that also adds to it. That you could say that's two of our starting defenders out. And that any team would feel that. So I wasn't too surprised by Tierney coming in. I wasn't too fazed by that one, to be honest with you, Alex.
No, he's a good defender. But after a fantastic start, so we're 2 goals up, we're on top of the game. Charl, where did it all go wrong?
Honestly, the conceding of the penalties where it went wrong, and
Was it a penalty?
I don't think so. I know you do think it was, but I don't.
Was it a handball?
From start to finish, you had the handball with Rice. Anybody can talk about being body to hand, whatever you want, or ball to hand. That momentum carried him on, puts the ball to Paqueta, who, like the amazing ballerina that he was yesterday, decided he's going to take a tumble. He goes over. VAR, for the life of me, I can't understand what a clear and obvious error is anymore, because if a guy initiates contact, referee sees it and he's conned by it, but because he got touched, he can't turn it over, because I don't get it. That's the part of the VAR I don't get. But to answer the question, once that penalty went in, we just couldn't handle the pressure. All of a sudden, once the crowd get on top of the Arsenal players, same as Anfield last week, it seems like we can't handle that pressure, and all of a sudden the other team gets an extra skip in the step and just all over us, and we can't seem to contain the pressure, and we end up conceding. So yeah, that's where the performance fell apart, and it shouldn't be that way based on how we start the game, how we control the game, how we quiet down the crowd, how we just play through the lines. And yeah, after that there were just some shocking performances. Honestly, the one guy I expected the most from, being Thomas Partey, was honestly the culprit in midfield yesterday. But yeah.
Should we have taken him off earlier, do you think?
It's a tough one. We do play better with him. But to be fair, once Jorginho came on, there was a lot more control. But what there wasn't, there was no carving open of like clear-cut chances in the game at all. It was literally everything into Fabianski's hands, which is, there was nothing clear-cut after that. And that's the part where Thomas Partey excels in, is that transition from defense to attack. And that's where he was missing. He was giving away the ball yesterday in that transition. And yeah, that's where Jorginho was a bit better. He just not as progressive enough. So yeah.
Can I jump in at this stage? I really like this comment by Mariano, because I agree with him. He says, I think it's a team error. The intensity dropped along with the rhythm after the 2 goals. That goes for the Liverpool game as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the managers also argue.
I'll agree with that.
Is it fair to blame this on any one player or any 2 players even?
No, they all get the blame.
Well, I think their goal came from the run of play, though, didn't it? I mean, other than Partey's sloppy play, I don't think West Ham were even in it until that penalty. Not at all.
Did we let them in? Did they force their way in, or did we let them in?
I think it was just a bit of clever pressure from Rice.
We were arrogant. For me, we were arrogant. For me personally, that was arrogance, complacency, everything, doing tricks and flicks and stuff. Why? Don't you learn from what happened last week? Why don't you learn from what happened last week? Finish the game off. They were there for the taking. When that game ended, they had a free kick. Their players one player was supposed to kick the ball into the box. They played it short, and that crowd was booing them. So Anfield is Anfield. That's done. But don't tell me a home ground with a track around where the fans are so far away from it is an intimidating home ground. I'm sorry. I can't agree with that one. Charl, I love you, but I'm not saying that. I get what you're saying in terms of the crowd. But don't tell me the London Stadium is an intimidating home ground. It's nowhere near Upton Park. That was just us bottling and arrogance on our part. I'm sorry, gents.
And the stats below goals, shots, and shots on target suggest that we have this game in hand. What?
Well, I would say that we...
go for it.
No, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. Finish your thought.
No, I was just going to say I agree with Devin that that was a team that somehow we got arrogant. We played
Well-
with confidence over the past few weeks, but we had enough humility to not do the other teams a discredit, and we recognize that the other teams should come back at us. And for weeks, we worked very hard to finish them off quickly. We didn't do that against Liverpool. We didn't do that against West Ham. Would you agree with that summary statement, Dobby?
Yeah, no, I do agree. I mean, I can't. It's hard to disagree with that. But if you look at it, we have to also give the opposition credit, because West Ham praised us for that party mistake. They actually, they recognized when to press, and even though he flicked the ball, he maybe shouldn't have, but he was under pressure there. So they actually, if we had done that, we would have given credit to our team for pressing and winning the ball high up the field. So that is one thing. And you say the stats, but if you look at the stats, they had 7 corners, we had 2. And so even though they didn't have the possession, we couldn't deal with the long ball. So that is all things that obviously they have to take credit for. So as much as we like to blame our own team for not finishing off the job, it's maybe not as straightforward as that always, That's why the Premier League is the toughest league.
So a 2-1. Antonio handles the ball. There's a penalty. Jesus has got the ball in his hand. And he's thinking, he's going to take this himself. And then Saka comes up and takes the ball off him, or rather, Jesus gives him the ball. Should Saka have taken the penalty, Charl?
He's our penalty taker. That's the only reason Jesus took it last week, is because Saka was off the pitch. He's our designated penalty taker. So he's converted every single penalty he's taken before this. Like, every player is going to miss a penalty. But
do you have any sympathy for Saka?
Of course.
Of course.
Why?
Of course I do. What do you mean, why?
Okay, so let me put it like this. So let me put it like this, right? This is a guy. This is a guy who
has no sympathy for him.
I've got no sympathy for him, because the minimum requirement is you got to hit the target, right? You can't miss a penalty from 12 yards. You got to hit the target, right? This is a guy, right, that's trying to demand a contract that's worth £300,000 a week, right? And if you're going to demand that much money, you've got to be able to hit the target from 12 yards. And if you don't, there's no excuses. And I don't even think that he even wants sympathy. I think that he knows, and he takes responsibility for his actions, and he knows that he should have hit that target. I don't think he wants sympathy. I think he knows he also now needs to go and prove himself for the rest of the season, because that is a massive penalty miss. And he gets no sympathy from me. I don't think he deserves it from anyone.
Here's the question that a few people are asking in the comments section. Should we rest him now? Should we give him off against Southampton? Because, Alex, you've said that missed penalty seemed to take the wind out of his sails.
Absolutely.
And a huge knock for his confidence. Should we rest him, or should we let him?
I don't think we should rest him. But I think he should have been taken off earlier. Does anyone else think he should have been taken off earlier in that game against West Ham? Because you could see
I thought he should have came off last week.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex. Sorry. I thought he should have came off last week already. He's been a bit off lately.
Yeah, he has been a bit off. I'm not sure if it was, the extra fixtures with playing for England, and he was on top form for England. But he seems to have drifted off a little bit since coming back after the international duty. I don't know. Maybe this penalty misses the sort of kick up the arse that he needed. Who knows? We'll find out in the Southampton game. I certainly don't think he should be rested, because I think he should be given the opportunity to go and prove himself now. He needs to go fight for that big contract.
Kevin has a question. Kevin has a question. He wants to know. Wait. Has our rhythm? No, is this Kevin? Yeah, Kevin wants to know: has our rhythm of attack and style been too tedious and obvious? That meaning, if the other teams figured us out, is that what happened on Saturday?
It's hard to tell.
We still scored 2 goals in 10 minutes, didn't we? so they haven't quite figured us out yet.
I took them 10 minutes to suss us out.
Yeah.
No, I was waiting for one of you guys to go.
I think it's more a case that we can't maintain our attacking play. If we maintain our
There
attacking
you
play, like the first 30 minutes of each game, if we carry on playing that way, and we can impose ourselves for 90 minutes, then it wouldn't be a problem. But it just goes out the window as soon as we could get under pressure, and you don't see it anymore all of a sudden. So I think that's more the problem.
There we go.
Alex, there's also a chorus of commentators who think that Trossard needs to start. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, who would you start Trossard over, and would you start him in the next game?
That's
Martinelli.
That's the question I've got.
This panel
That's the question I've got. Who do you start him over? I was asked that question earlier.
You're not going to start him over Jesus, I don't think. Would you start him over Saka? I mean, he doesn't really suit that right wing, Trossard, for me. I think you either play him down the middle or left.
No.
But the way everyone interchanges in that front three, like he could easily. That's the one thing.
Also true.
But honestly, if you look at Trossard, you'd think he's the one player that has to fall out. But at the same time, he's been our best player of the last month, despite Saka even winning that Player of the Month award. I really think Trossard was our best player over the last 2 months now. So it's actually a shame that he was out. And I think it's a little bit of an enigma because even Arteta can't figure out who Trossard has to come in for. Because the thing is, crux of the matter is Martinelli is playing well, Jesus is playing well, and I suppose that the thing is with Saka, like you can get an amazing performance out of this guy on his day, one of the best. So that's why it's a bit hard to put in Trossard in that front three. That is what it is.
Was Martinelli playing well though? Was he playing well? Because I mean,
he got an assist, didn't he, early on?
Yeah, but that's when everybody
really
was
great
playing
assist
well.
as well.
Didn't play much that great in the second half either.
No, but then did any of our players play that great in the second
Well,
half? Really?
So that is my point. That if we pointing the finger at Saka, then we can point it at anybody.
Dobby, but don't you think Martinelli played better once Trossard and Jorginho came on, and he was getting a little bit more possession again on that side? Because it seemed they were, for some reason, they were cut off. There was just nothing happening.
Yeah, but I think that when Nelson came on, he actually gave even that extra bit of impetus. I was actually feeling more confident of him beating his man and things like that, which Martinelli failed to do in this game.
Should Reece Nelson have come on earlier, do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Who was excited to see Vieira come on the pitch? Who thought that he would actually make it?
No way.
No?
The
Quentin's comment. Go to Quentin's comment.
There's Quentin's comment. There's Quentin's comment.
Where's Quentin's comment? Yeah.
There it is.
Yep, he's right.
Listen,
I need to give this guy some sticks or something.
So overall,
give this guy some sticks or something. Keep him up, man.
If you were going to give Arteta sort of a mark out of 10 for his substitutions, what would you give him? That's an open question for any of you.
5.
You guys go first.
It didn't work. So
yeah.
Can I just ask one question? Do you guys think that we should have had a second penalty? Remember that ball that got played across goal and Jesus was going to get on the end of it and he got pushed over? He was like a meter from the goal line. We missed the ball, but it looked like he got pushed by a defender from behind. I don't know.
I didn't actually check it, Dominic. I didn't check it.
That was our clearest chance in the second half, where somebody.
I see which one. I see which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, no, they never showed any replays or anything. But I mean,
of course they didn't.
Did we deserve? Did we deserve anything more out of this game? Did we deserve anything more out of this game than we got? For failing to do what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, I think, no, because we missed that penalty. And I think that's my...
Could have had a second one, maybe, potentially. Nobody.
But didn't we start playing... My thought was, you guys can... this is the question. My thought was we started playing negatively, falling over at every touch and then losing the ball when the referee didn't blow. And we started wasting time quite early. into the game instead
Agreed.
of killing the game. Where has that negativity come from? Is it nerves or is it just cockiness?
I don't know. I think most managers, most football players would say, if you go 2 goals up, it's a nice cushion going into half time. But we don't maintain that, do we? We take the foot off the gas too early, in my opinion. We need to maintain the pressure probably up until half time, and then we might even get more goals. But what we've done in the past couple of games is 2 goals go in early, and then that's it, sit back. But we can't afford to do that because there's a hell of a lot of the game left in order for the team to get in. You say it 2-0 up at half time. That's a good scenario for me, and then you could probably take your foot off the gas in the second half. But going 2-0 up so early on, you can't afford to take your foot off the gas.
I was already cheering, saying no, we should wipe out the goal deficit that we have with Man City. Was I being foolish? I clearly was. Wasn't I?
No.
I think a lot of people were saying
I
that.
was on that same vibe.
I was on the
was on that
WhatsApp
same
saying
vibe.
6 or
Morgan, I
7
was on
goals.
Yeah. I was on that exact same
Even-
thing because I think at that time when we went 2-0 up, we were like 5 goals away from Southampton. I'm thinking, you know what? We can better this lot now. But I agree with Alex in the sense that 2-0 is the worst lead you can have. It's the most shakiest lead you can have. Anything can happen. So, but on to the next one, on to Friday now. Let's move.
I just want to talk a
don't
little
wanna
bit.
talk about-
Quentin has. I just want to last Alex. Quentin has been suggesting that there is a conspiracy against Arsenal between officials and the entire league. Were the refs that bad yesterday? Quentin has had a couple of comments blaming the refs for what happened. Any thoughts?
I don't
A
think
little
that-
bit.
I-
A little
No,
bit.
the
maybe.
refs are disgusting overall for everybody. This week, if you could get the rubber the green next week, we could- I nearly
They
said the
are-
other word now.
Well done,
honestly.
well done,
The
Evan.
refs are just
Evan, you
disgusting.
said it.
Nothing surprises me anymore. So I understand. Look, don't get me wrong. I understand where Quentin is coming from, but the refs in this league just stink the place out. So it is what it is. This weekend coming Friday, we'll get a rub of the green for some decisions. Another team will be robbed. That's just the way I see it. The best league in the world, but the worst refs. They're all blind.
I
They're
think you're
underpowered.
right. I think you're
refs.
right.
Basically everything you need to do.
It's weird that
As
we
VAR made
considered
them
the best.
worse.
We're considered the best league in the world, but yet we've got some of the worst refs in the world. It's really weird, isn't it? You'd expect them to be of a much higher quality. But then when you see some of the people that are reffing some of the junior games, and you go and some of the leagues that persevere with these refs that ref at junior games, you go, oh my god, there's no hope.
Alex,
Is it that bad, Alex?
Some of them, oh my god.
Alex,
Yes.
before we go to the quiz, Wolfie has jumped in here. And I just have to share the comments.
Big up, Wolfie.
Well, Arteta's an expert. Oh, here we go. I thought he might pop up.
Unexpected.
Who agrees with this statement? Arteta's inexperience will cost us the league. Does anyone agree with that?
I mean, no.
Anyone wanna go?
City's brilliance will cost us the league. We're gonna get more points that we've gotten in the past 15 years in the league. So
Yeah.
it's not that we're not doing well. Even sometimes a draw away at Anfield is not a bad result. It just the problem is that Man City is relentless, and they're gonna get 95 points, and we can lose the league with 90 points, and the Invincibles got 90 points. You know what I mean? So I don't think so. I think we're doing well. It's just that we're up against like a juggernaut. That's what we're up against. That's the
absolutely.
problem.
but at the moment we're not losing the title to Man City. We're losing the title to our own foolishness, isn't
Well,
it?
we're not losing the title at the moment, are we? I mean, we're still, even
We
if
haven't
Man City
lost
win
it
the
yet.
game, even if Man City wins the game in hand, we're still 1
I
point
want-
above them. And
yeah.
it's mathematically still possible for us to win the league.
Yes.
So until
I apologize.
it's
I
mathematically
apologize.
impossible for us to win the league. We can still win the league.
Alex and I swapped bodies this week, so he's the positive one. I'm the one worried now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We always do better as the underdogs, though, right? I mean, this whole season we've been underdogs, and then the expectation. I think we suffer with the weight of expectations.
No, Alex, I think you just like it when we're the underdogs. When we were sort of top dog, you did not like that scenario that we were going to win the league. You
can't win the league if we're top of the league.
This is the thing, exactly. There's a lovely skit on a little video on Instagram. I'll try and share it sometime, where the guy points that out exactly. That how are we supposed to win the league if we're top of the league? That is just a recipe for not winning the league. So yeah, Arsenal fans gotta love him.
Right, I think we've done the game to death now, have we?
Yes.
Oh, one more question.
Okay.
Who would have preferred to have seen Emil Smith Rowe on instead of Vieira?
Yes, that's been the suggestion.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't know. We don't know if he didn't have is he fit?
What are your guys' opinion?
Sorry,
Dobby. Sorry. Like, what is your opinion on Smith Rowe? Like, since he's come back, something is not on there with him, man. Or is it just me?
Well, he's not match fit, is he? He's come back from a really, really long injury and surgery, and I just don't think he's up to. He's lacking game time, isn't he? He's not even played in the reserves or anything like that. So,
not even Europa.
I don't expect to see much until next season, to be honest.
Yep, he needs a pre-season.
Yeah, guys, I just want to. There's a little thing going around, and up till about half an hour ago, I thought it was confirmed, but I've just been asked to hold on to this. It was true until half an hour ago that Ian Wright was going to visit the Cape Town Supporters Club tomorrow. Warren has asked that I just hold 10 with that. I'm not sure what's happening. I think it's just about how they're going to do it. I'm pretty confident that Ian Wright is still going to be there. He was definitely scheduled to be there tomorrow. We will give you more news as soon as we have it. This is a scenario in flux. So we will let you have updates via. Just check us out on social media. But until 10 minutes ago, until half an hour ago, it was confirmed. But things are there are just a few moving parts at the moment. So just hang tight, everyone.
No problem. Problem.
Okay. If you get the chance to go meet him,
I'm looking forward to that, actually.
100% get there if you can, guys. These are proper Arsenal legends.
Definitely.
Let's face it.
Yeah.
That's a legend.
Right. Quiz. Who got the easiest anagram in the world ever?
I thought it wasn't that easy.
It took Charl about half a second.
Okay.
I'm bad at this stuff. Usually, Alex, the last time I was on, I was bad at this Theo Walker. Theo.
Okay.
Right. Question 2. Anyway, this is hopefully going to be much more difficult.
Devon, this one is just for you. This one is just for you.
Oh my
right.
word.
Arsenal's first ever game against Southampton was an FA Cup tie on the 26th of March 1927. Gunners winning 2-1 under manager Herbert Chapman. The team's next clash would be a Division 1 game nearly 4 decades later on Boxing Day 1966. George Graham, the future Arsenal manager, would play in that game, having moved to Highbury 3 months earlier. But who was the Arsenal manager for that 4-1 win? Was it A, Bertie Mee, B, George Swindon, or C, Billy Wright?
Go, Devon.
Bertie Mee. That's just a pure guess. I'm just going on Bertie Mee. That's just a pure guess. Because I haven't heard of George Swindon. I don't even know Billy Wright is.
Say Bertie.
Dobby?
Also, we're going to have to hazard a guess here. I'll say Bertie Mee as well.
Charl?
I'll go C just to be different.
We have a couple of B's as well.
B's in the audience.
George Swindon now.
And the
we have a
answer
couple
is...
of B's.
It is Bertie Mee.
Bertie Mee. You see, Dobby, we did it. A guess
Yes.
works.
He actually just started.
That was a guess. That was a guess.
It actually just started a few months earlier. So here's another one.
Right. Question 3. I was the last player to move from Southampton to Arsenal in the pre-Premier League era. I didn't have to leave Southampton for Arsenal, but I did because it was my club. Still is, always will be, but after a few days, I realised there was problems here. I didn't get in the team much, even though I knew I was good and should be in that midfield. I played in a successful Southampton side, and as soon as I arrived at Highbury, I realised why we were so successful down at the Dell. It was because we played as a team, but this Arsenal side I came into didn't. My nickname at Arsenal was Willow. Who am I?
Oh,
Yeah, you start off with an easy one, give them a nice, easy little anagram, and then you twist the knife.
yo.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I just want to see their faces close up, the confusion. Let me just quickly change the setting here.
Yeah, check it out.
There we go. There
You
we
know
go.
what? Oxlade-Chamberlain. I'm just going with Oxlade-Chamberlain.
No, this is
That's the only
pre-Premier
connection I can
League.
think.
Pre-Premier League.
Pre-Premier League, so it's obviously Theo
Pre-Premier
Willow.
League. How am I supposed to?
Done.
Theo, well, I was also thinking that, but they wouldn't give us two questions about World Cup in the same.
I've got to say,
I've
got to say it's a pretty tough one.
I won't
How am I
guys.
supposed to know that?
Because you're supposed to be
The
Arsenal
chat will
fans.
know. The chat will know.
Well, the
another-
chat
Give
knows
them a clue, and they still won't get it. I bet you anyway. Give them a clue.
the chat is
I won't get
quiet.
it. I won't get it.
Anyone?
The chat is not
He
even
was left
saying this. The
footer.
chat should know it.
The chat has gone numb. Okay, here we go. Here's the clue. It's the answer.
Stupid.
I don't know what that is.
Right, hands up, everyone who's
wait.
heard of Steve Williams.
Nope.
You really
David?
scraped the barrel on that one, Morgan.
Brilliant question.
Devin, I was so tempted to give two Theo Walcott questions. Actually, I thought this would really catch him out because he was the first Arsenal player to come from Southampton in the Premier League era. But then I thought, no, let's really twist the knife in. I've never heard of Steve Williams. No one else will have heard of him. So there we go.
Well, at least we learned something.
I thought I was the only one. You
Yeah.
see, that's the only two I can think of. Ox and Theo. Well, that's Southampton era, and Cedric, but let's say less about him. Brilliant question.
And
Brilliant
Chambers.
question. I love it.
Mark wants to know what year. It was about
Chambers, I forgot about
84,
Callum
84.
Chambers as well. Callum Chambers.
Yeah, but he was much later. It was actually Theo was the first one to move in the Premier League era to come across from Anyway,
It was a quite a steep difficulty curve there.
yes.
Morgan, from question
90.
one
And
to
that was
question
very
three.
recent, actually.
The 90
It was
degrees
very
angle curve.
recent.
You set them up, Alex. You set them up, and then you take it down.
Right,
Okay.
that's it for questions. What's next?
The
Weeks ahead.
We've
Right.
looked at that.
We
You
have
want to
looked at
look
that.
Do you want to look at some more?
Do we want to look at it some more? Who do you think? Who do you guys think Man City could potentially slip up against? Well, we mentioned Brighton. Is there anyone else on that list? Do you think?
Yeah,
This could be
Everton.
quite tough for them.
Everton. for
They
me.
play a brilliant team next week, Wednesday.
Tell them.
Arsenal.
They play a good
No,
team next week,
Arsenal,
Wednesday.
sorry.
The log leaders. They play the log leaders next Wednesday.
Brentford. There's a
I think
few.
Brentford away might be a
That can
tough
happen.
one. It could be a
Last
tough
game
one.
of the
that.
season, man. They have to lose it on the last day once. They've won it twice now, so they will once. There's
Agreed.
Can
turn
I
around.
ask something? 2 weeks ago, I thought we are gonna massacre Man City. We're gonna show them there's a changing of the guard, and Pep's gonna have to realize there's a new gang in town or something like that.
And then
I'm
you
losing
realised it was
confidence.
2023, and you woke up.
No.
Carry
Then
on.
West
No.
Ham happened. West Ham happened.
2003.
Should I still be confident? Can I still be confident that we could take them on and hammer them and show them it's our time now?
I
Pep,
don't know
we've
about
had the
hammering
time.
him, Morgan.
Nah.
I don't know about
Maybe
hammering
a
him.
draw.
Oh, I was going mad. I saw Pep in tears, Haaland crying on the side, asking for a transfer back to Germany. It was going to be anarchy and chaos. And then West Ham happened. Tell me why that was an unrealistic expectation.
Oh my God.
I mean, we've been battling
People,
for
you
some
need
time now, Morgan, about
people-
being
people
realistic
need
and dreaming. And
We were gonna put them to the sword. I was so confident. Anyway, you guys are not helping my confidence. I'll call my therapist.
I think we could still beat Man City. You know, if we really go at them, I think we can beat Man City. But we've got to go at them, and we've got to maintain that level of intensity for a lot longer than we have been in these past two games. We've just got to go out there and go to absolutely batter them. And I know it's going to be the hardest game of the season, but that's what's required to beat Man City.
That's how a title is won.
Yeah,
You've got to have that.
there are a couple of suggestions as to who Man City could drop points against. People are
throwing in
suggesting
Chelsea?
Brighton.
Well, Chelsea will be fighting for against relegation.
I
So,
saw
it could be a
that.
tough one.
Those relegation teams are the most dangerous ones this season.
They have to
Chelsea
win
is
under.
dominant.
They have to win.
I saw the exact same thing that Charl is
Eventually.
saying now. Chelsea, man.
It's all gonna come. It's all gonna come together for Chelsea against Man City. Lampard is gonna figure it out. That's all the people are saying.
That sentence in itself makes no sense. Lampard. Come on.
Maybe he won't be there by then.
Why are you taking my hope away?
You
Why
know
are you
what? I
hating
think
me
by
so
the time the City game comes around, Lampard may have gotten the sack again.
The way it's going, won't be
Okay.
surprised.
There are a couple of comments. Some people think Leeds can be a banana skin for
Get into
them.
the comments, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Liverpool have got Leeds tonight, haven't they?
Yeah.
How do you guys see that one going?
Where are they
Always the
playing?
way that-
I think they're playing at Ellen Road,
It's
aren't they?
That's
Ellen
Ellen Road,
Okay.
yes.
Ellen
Yeah.
Road. Leeds.
Yeah, Liverpool's been really bad away from home, so
Yeah, you never know. Leeds are a funny team, aren't they? I mean, they sometimes when they turn it on, they can look like really
yeah.
good,
Or they could
and then
lose
they
5-1 to
realise
Crystal
who they
Palace.
are, and then they lose games.
Yeah.
I actually agree with what Wolfie there with that one. Can I ask you guys a question? Just like off the record.
It's
just
the
to come
Wolfie
back to
comment
that
about
comment of
holding.
Wolfie.
What's
Yeah.
that? Sorry.
What would you guys do? Would you bring Ben White into midfield and then maybe move one of Tierney or Zini on the right back? I know it's like a square peg in a round hole, but how do you guys feel about it? Just a
Why must he
question.
come in midfield? We
Playing
got
devil's
enough
advocate here.
midfielders.
Sorry?
In whose position?
No, I
why
mean
would
into
we-
center, into the center of the
Oh,
defense.
into
Sorry,
the centre
Dobby,
back. Oh, I see
No,
what you mean. Okay,
right.
Nah,
I see
I
what
phrased
you
that
mean.
wrong. My
Okay.
bad.
No, only if we had
mistake.
Tomiyasu there, but not. I wouldn't put those other guys on the right. They're not.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. I'm not even convinced by Ben White as a central defender. To be honest, I mean, it was pretty. It's pretty evident that he can't jump. I mean, we saw it
Against
Liverpool.
Haaland, he might struggle.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't got the height and he hasn't got the
No.
jump. I think his best position is right back. If I'm honest, I haven't really seen him as a central defensive midfielder. You know, just in front of the centre backs. But I think he's been playing pretty well as a right back. To be honest, I
Yeah,
think.
we don't have.
Nah,
we
he has
don't
been
have. We don't have
Agreed.
a replacement for him
Mark-
at right back anyways at the moment.
Yeah, Mark says you're all gonna eat your words when Holdings scores a header from a set piece, and
in
that's
whose
the
goal?
5th goal, and we beat Man City 5-1 with that header. That's just-
From his
I-
mouth to the
I'm-
Lord's
I'm-
ears.
I'm reading into that. Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I've been watching Mark's comments the entire evening, and he's the one guy that's positive throughout. You need to get this guy on the show so that he can breathe that confidence and positivity throughout. Telling you now.
Because Alex is all negative tonight.
Oh, come on! Come on.
Alex,
No,
no, I
yeah.
never knew you were like
Listen
this.
here.
Like
No,
I thought I
I'm going
was
to
that.
defend Alex here. I'm going to defend Alex. This has been the most positive Alex has been on the show ever this season. And it's because we're the underdogs now. This is Alex's sweet spot. This
Hey,
is Alex's sweet spot.
I predicted we were going to finish above either Man City or or Liverpool at the beginning of the season, right? And I almost got laughed off the show by everyone who thought there's no way we're going to be that good. I knew it. I knew we were going to be
you
this good.
figured Man City was going to be like 4th or 5th, I suppose.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just being, I think, not negative, but kind of a little bit realistic. In the Man City are a flipping good team. Let's face it, they are probably. I think they're the best team in the world at the moment. I don't think many people.
I will agree with that. I will agree with it.
And so
Alex,
to actually beat them to get the Premier League title, that is a massive achievement. You know,
would that
even be up there at this stage of the season is an achievement in itself.
If we beat them and we win the title, would we be the best team in the world?
Yep. As the song goes.
There's an argument for it.
Okay.
Yep.
Then we can really sing it and mean
I
it.
think in terms of consistency.
Anyway, upcoming games. Arsenal Southampton on Friday. Hopefully I'll go into that as long as I don't have to sit on the M6 motorway for 4 hours like I did when I got into the last game. Fulham Leeds. Man United Chelsea, that might be an interesting one. Frank might be able to get a
you
first
probably
win,
Spurs.
but then again, he might not. Palace Everton, Liverpool Forest, Brentford Villa, Leicester Wolves, that Man City Brighton game's been postponed. Newcastle Spurs, that will be a decent fixture, I think. Can anyone see Tottenham beating Newcastle at St James's Park?
No.
Definitely not.
No, me either.
No.
And then Bournemouth West Ham. Arsenal Southampton. What are your guys' predictions for that?
3-0.
But just give me a second. Wait, I just want to get there.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
3-0.
I'm just
3-0 for
Charl?
Charl?
Okay.
Oh, is that 3-0 for Derby? Sorry. Hold on a minute.
So...
That's West Ham.
my apologies.
Let's go with it, man. 2-2.
No.
No, I'm going the exact same. We need to respond on a Friday night. Put pressure on them. Build that 7-point lead.
You've got the teams the wrong way around, Morgan.
Yeah, I know. I
Terrible.
apologize. I'm just going to... I apologize. I absolutely apologize.
Arsenal versus Arsenal now.
That's basically what we've been doing. Arsenal playing against ourselves.
That's how the game has been, Joel.
I apologize.
Devin, what you saying?
Don't worry, don't stress. I'm the same with Dobby. Smack them.
3-0.
Give us a 7-point lead going into the Etihad next week Wednesday. I can't wait to come to the pub. I can't wait next week Wednesday.
Yeah.
Smash them 3-0 bounce back.
Because that will put pressure on City again. Yeah.
I
because they play Epic of the weekend.
Dangerous score, so I'm going to go 3-0 as well.
Wow.
Right.
We just mustn't score any goals in the first half, Charl. We mustn't score a single goal in the first half.
Right, I'm gonna go 5-0.
Oh,
wow!
He's positive now.
I told you.
Yeah. Who's negative now?
You went the whole way negative. The Shockers was 5-0.
4-3.
4-3.
And that is just for fun. Because Alex is so positive. I told you. This we have to be underdogs the entire season. This is Alex's.
Morgan, I can't go to 4-3, my man. I can't do it.
Okay, I will do this.
4-2 maybe.
That is, no.
Okay.
Looking quite positive, that Morgan. Are you sure?
We have to bounce back. And I believe that this is the game where Arteta's going to crack the whip, and then Wolfie's going to have to say, okay, so maybe we can under Arteta.
Yeah. Let's hope
Theo
so.
Walcott going to score. I saw a comment there saying from Mark saying Walcott's going to score.
From Mark.
Oh no.
Yeah, we have a lot of 4-1s. We have a lot
Forgot
of
about
4-1s
him.
for Mark. Quinton says
He's right. We do
4-1
concede
as
a lot of
well.
goals, though.
Mark, the positive one says
Mark, I'm
Morgan's gonna
disappointed
score.
in you.
Gavin says 5-0. Larry says 4-0. So that's a popular score. Here's an unpopular score. Oh no, that's a Newcastle game. Gavin says 5-0, and Wolfie says 4-0.
Wow.
So,
That's quite positive.
that is very
That's
positive.
quite.
Love it.
So there's 4 1s and 4 0s are the most popular score lines predicted by the Gunners. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
let's hope they're right.
What have we got next? Is that it now?
Alex, the prediction game has not been updated. The predictor leads
Oh,
but
Bevan!
that was last week.
Was it? Okay. I think most of us would have got the prediction wrong, wouldn't we? I think most of us were predicting a win for West Ham. A win for Arsenal against West Ham, rather. But it was unfortunate that. But don't forget to go on the website and continue with the predictor game. I suppose it's a little bit late to start now, isn't it? But I don't know.
Well, you never know. Come from behind.
Yeah.
No.
Have we got a winner of the question of the show?
Just for the hell of it.
Wolfie.
Wolfie, it's a question that is obviously stirred much debate today. And so, the Trossard question.
You wouldn't put it off.
That is a very good question, though.
It
is a very good question. I like that comment.
It's not really a question. It's a comment.
Stick pie. I like that comment, actually.
Anyway,
someone's got to feed the boy. Yeah.
It needs a bit of food. Give him some steak pies.
I thought that football players got paid good money and they can afford to feed themselves. That boy is making me worry.
Cool. I think that wraps it up. Don't forget to check out Ronnie's podcast as well. Link to that on the Facebook page. And that is it. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining the show. It's been a good one. Thanks all the people in the audience as well for the comments and the questions. Much appreciated. And hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Yeah, always a pleasure. See you guys next week.
Cheers.
Have a good
Cool.
one.
Thanks, guys.
Bless.
Cheers, guys.
Take it easy.
Bless,
Have a
guys.
good one.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.